Okay, Michael, hello. It's good to talk to you again.
Hi, Axel. Nice to
I
talk to
know
you too.
I know you have had a busy time in the last weeks with the beta test, and I'm certain that not just me, I'm very curious what you can tell us about your experiences in the beta test time. Yeah, what happened?
That's very good. I'm very happy to do it. I hope you will share your experiences too. Yeah. And I hope some of the folks that have had, that have worked with us and done some very big bookings, I hope they will share their experiences as well. Yeah. So this is all part of a process, as we know. So just to give you a little bit of a background, what we wanted to do was we're testing a number of different elements of our whole system here, right, with this beta test. We had about 25 or 28 folks from the TLN network that were in our beta group. And then I had about another 15 people from the US that were professional travel industry people, yeah. And only the people from the TLN group were actually making bookings. They were actually making bookings. The other folks were checking on other aspects of the whole platform, especially on the what we call the aggregation side, which is all the supplier side, and making sure that pricing and the information we're pulling from these suppliers is all correct and all that good stuff. So I'll get a sense of what we actually achieved during this process. So what we did is we did about 240 bookings for the 25 people. So that was really crazy. I never expected it to be so much. And it was about 300,000 US dollars, so 300,000 V dollars of transactions. In tier two, when people were using tier two, which is the partner apps, we had 100% success. We didn't have a single booking failure in tier two. Now I'm super happy about that and very excited because tier two represents where 95% of the customers of vTravel will interact. And I think this is really important for the TLN network people to understand that vTravel is built for the world. It's not built for TLN. It's built for the entire universe of V currency holders, and where that universe is constructed. It's constructed from every customer that basically downloads a partner app. And from this partner app, like big merchants, you might have learned, like what we're rolling out in India right now. We've just brought on, distribution partners that could be responsible just one deal for 200 million users. They're reaching 200 million customers right now. So as we roll out in the new year, our network of publishers will bring our partner apps to the world's markets, and those customers will download those apps, and those customers are now customers for TLN because they're using the liquidity networks to effectively power their transactions. Yeah. So vTravel is built for the world, and it's built for the users of the partner apps. So I'm delighted to see and to be able to say that 100% success rate when using tier two on the Cashback app USA, Cashback app UK, any of the partner apps, 100% success. So super happy about that. With tier one, which is what we were using for the beta test in the TLN network, we did have some problems. We had about a failure rate of about close to about 15%, which is not satisfactory, of course. But the biggest reason for the failure actually was the fact that people didn't actually send their V dollars. So they would get the QR code, and they would scan the QR code, and they would think, okay, I'm done. And they didn't actually press send when the amount came up. So if we take those out, we still have about 8% failure rate from when people truly did send money, and our webhooks didn't pick up the transaction, didn't scan the Etherscan fast enough to get the information to the booking system to say confirm. So that's a lot of technical stuff. I don't want to bore people with that. We know exactly where those problems are, and we are taking now a couple of weeks to take down our payment system on tier 1 and completely put it back again with these issues that will be completely fixed. So by the time we roll out sometime in January, and we'll let everybody know as soon as we can what dates those will be, we'll have that entirely fixed. But more importantly, we'll also be, what was important for this beta test is that we didn't have, by design, we didn't have 24/7 customer service on this, because it would be way too much of an overkill to put that amount of customer service on so few transactions. Yeah. So by January, again, we will have full 24/7 customer service. So instead of people DMing me or Alice or whatever saying, oh, I didn't get my confirmation number or this and that, we'll have live 24/7 customer service. So anybody that did send money, we can immediately see, yeah, Axel, we can actually see your payment here. So don't worry, we'll take care of the actual fulfillment in the back office, which we can absolutely do. And then 5 minutes later, you'll get your confirmation. So I think almost all of the problems that we associated with payments and booking confirmations we know what they are. People were very good about reporting them. We logged them. We've largely have fixed them, and by January, and with customer service, I really feel that none of those will be with us when we roll to the world, right? Because this is the whole point. We still expect we're making a big focus, even though that the tier 1 payments represent only a small fraction of what we anticipate coming in to our system. We still want it to be perfect, because people are still going to want to pay in Bitcoin. They might want to pay in Ethereum. We'll have some other tokens that we will accept, apart from obviously all the V currencies, right? So we'll accept all the V currencies on tier 1. The Vow team is working very hard to enable a system whereby customers will be able, TLN people will be able to shift or elevate their tier 1 tokens to tier 2 with no loss of value. So if you're holding 10,000 V dollars and you've got them on tier 1 through your earnings, you'll be able to push them to tier 2 and then work out of a partner app if you so choose, or you can stay with the Vow wallet and buy on the Vow wallet. So long story short, very happy with the results. We had, 1 or 2 customers spend more than $50,000 just each. We had one person spend about $70,000, another person spent about $85,000, and those people are reporting savings of more than 50%. So very, very, I think they're very, very pleased with what we have. So as we look to January, these are the things that we're fixing. Mainly focused right now on customer service and reporting. There was one other issue that I think you might have run into, because I seem to remember this coming back from one of your responses, and that was that you didn't see non-stop flights on short-haul destinations. I think Munich, Copenhagen, you were looking for a non-stop and you didn't see it, whereas it was available on some other platforms. All of that has been fixed. We've already fixed that. We understood what was going on with that. And there were a lot of issues like that where the content, we weren't pulling all of the content yet. That was also largely by design, because the suppliers were still looking at us, what we were doing, how we were working with this V dollars. They didn't really understand that very well. But as we kind of got more and more of them to understand what we were doing, then they turned on more and more inventory. So we got to see more and more inventory. And now we're pretty much looking at all the inventory that can be found on any of the large travel platforms.
That's really one thing I can confirm, because I was one of the beta testers, and I was just excited seeing what's really going on and what's possible. And I booked some more things that I wanted to, because the hotels were just really so cheap. I said, okay, let's do another city trip and things like that. So it was really exciting, especially when you see that most of the people coming to the platform later on, they will just have rewards they earned anywhere, and they can use it for travel. And that
Yeah.
is really, that is.
And I think, and one more important thing is that we establish, and this is the whole purpose of vTravel, right? We establish in the mind of these customers that don't know very much about crypto, that don't know anything about blockchain, they're not interested, they just went into a department store, spent $200, got a reward of maybe $40, and now what can they do with that? And it seems so important for them to understand they can spend those 40 reward dollars exactly like it was a US dollar, right? That's what vTravel does. vTravel puts in the mind of the customers of all our different partner apps that their rewards, their digital reward coupons are worth the same denominated amount in real currency as they are in our digital coupon currency. And if we do that, we win the world, right? If that belief is there, then we win. We absolutely win. So that's really the purpose of this. And that's why all of the thought and the work has gone into making sure that the experience on the platform doesn't really require anybody to understand anything about crypto, right? And that's why if you look at the tier 2 application, you look at the tier 2 experience, you think about your parents using it, you think about people that are older, you think about people that have had no experience with crypto, no experience with blockchain. No problem. They've got the rewards in their wallet. They go to the site. The site says, I need $1,221 for your flight. They've got that. If they don't have that, they just hit buy on their partner apps. It goes, charges their credit card. They buy what they don't have. They come back. They go, I'm ready to pay. Flash your phone up, scan the QR code, boom, boom, confirmation number, PNR number of the flight right there. Call the airline, you can find your booking is there. It's like brain dead. They don't know. They don't know that that happened on a blockchain. They don't know that's happening via cryptocurrency or digital assets. All they know, I got rewards, I spent rewards. Done, right? We are done. We do that in the world as a whole. Anybody that wants to then find out, well, how are they doing that? Sure, they're going to find out that we're using a blockchain mechanic, and that's brilliant. That's great. But 99% of people won't care.
No,
They just want to know that their rewards can be spent like cash.
yeah, I can confirm that it was just like a normal booking I did. It was a bit different because I had to use an app, the Vow app, but then it was easy. Send, and the confirmation came as it always comes when you book travel anywhere. So it was really that easy. It's not dramatic. It's nothing about Bitcoin or crypto. You don't have to know anything about it. And for us, the TLN people at the moment, it's really interesting. Yeah. To make this experience. And I'm really glad about the feedback, because you got feedback about the non-stop flights. They were not visual, that we couldn't see, and now you have shown me that they are there now, and that's great. If there are problems, they are fixed, and that's how everything develops in a perfect way. And that's what you do.
And
it's
even
really,
when I think I want to manage expectations on this. You know, if you think about our platform is a new platform. We're rolling out in January. I think we're going to be really, really good. But are we perfect? And we're not perfect. I don't think there's any platform that's perfect. Yeah, we're going to constantly improve every single week. We're going to make improvements so that we do become the best platform, not because we're the cheapest or the lowest price or the easiest. We're just the best travel platform because we've got more content and more ways for people to spend money on travel than anybody else. And if we do that, again, you know, we win.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about what the people can expect in the next future when you rolled out and first started? What will be the next steps?
Well, it's very important. First and foremost, it's very important to have 24/7 customer service because we're working in many different time zones. I think our Indian business is going to be very, very strong with the deals that are happening there right now. Our US business are going to be very strong. And that is the two sides of the world, right? We got right there. It's like completely opposite time zones. Yeah. So Europe kind of sits somewhat in the middle, although more on the, CET is sort of 6 to 9 hours from US time. So we have to have 24/7 customer service. And so that's going to be really important, because I don't think you really care very much if you're having a problem. People have problems on travel sites all the time, yeah? And it's not because of the travel site itself. It could be because of the supply side, right? The airline is having a problem, the hotel's having a problem. There could be all kinds of reasons why you are not getting the confirmation you expect on something. So it's very important to have this 24/7 customer service where you can just indicate that very quickly to a customer service team. They can basically take your, they get your information, they can look at your record, and we will have the control of what we call the PNR, the passenger name record, which is the system that that the airlines use to control who can change what in a reservation, right? So we don't have to go to the airline to get them to change it. We can actually change it. Our own customer service team can change it directly. So if you need to change a flight, if you need to upgrade a flight, if you need to return on a different day or whatever, we can take care of that right away. I think people always have to be mindful of the fact that it's always very hard to do changes same day. If you know there's a change coming, it's much better to do it in advance, right? But sometimes things happen and you have to make a change same day. Those are the most challenging things. But if you've got 24 to 48 hours to make a change, usually that's enough time. Yeah, usually that's enough time through this system. And so we'll be able to accommodate, I believe, again, the great 95+% of changes and things that people want to make. Changing hotels is much easier. That's not really a problem at all. But changing flights always is a challenge for anybody. And I think if we're just mindful of how we benchmark to the other sites, I want to be sure that we're at least the same, and hopefully we'll be better. So what we've got coming in, so what we've got coming in January is we'll have all of these issues of the content. So like, for example, the example of not showing non-stop fares on short hauls. We didn't show some of the what I call the low-cost carriers like Southwest in the US. We didn't have EasyJet or Ryanair. We should expect those to be coming up. Those are up. In the US, they're up already. I would expect in Europe they'll be up by January, and if not by January, very, very shortly afterwards. It's just a question of the airlines just look over our shoulder, make sure that everything is as they expect, and then they say, okay, fine, we'll turn on the content. Everybody wants the business. It's just a question of making sure that that we're getting the right authentication from the various suppliers. So in January, I would expect the customer service is going to make a huge difference. The site has been tweaked and modified to, I think, to make things a lot easier for people to understand. We've a lot of little tiny glitches, like, for example, you couldn't enter your frequent flyer numbers or your mileage program numbers. That all gets fixed. So there are a bunch of little tweaks that we know about that will come out strong. But the biggest thing I feel is the customer service piece, because once the customer service piece is there, you don't feel like you made a booking and now there's nothing you can do to make changes or whatever. And that's why we had to deal with the beta test in the way that we did it. We had some people, I guess it's very easy for people to tell their friends, oh yeah, I went to vTravel, I just went to vTravel/beta, and they allow me to book, right? So we had some people that weren't in the beta group, and they came on and they tried to book, but they didn't know what to do if things didn't happen. So they sometimes would send 5 or 6 attempts at a booking and they didn't know what to do. So I've tried to reach out to most of those people and say, look, if you went in the beta group, you shouldn't be booking because we didn't have a clear communication pathway with you. and we weren't, I can't, you can't call me at 11 o'clock at night and expect me to fix a problem for you when I'm in Los Angeles and the rest of my team's in India. So I think those issues, put aside, I think the people that were in the beta group and knew what they were doing and followed the rules and everything like that, I think generally had good experiences. And the ones, everybody that needs refunds are getting refunds. So I think we're in a good place to take all of that and then go forward in January and make it really fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I really can thank you for all this work and communication, and for the words you shared now with all of us, because I think it's not just me. A lot of people are waiting to get more news and all the interesting stuff that's going on vTravel.
No, I think it's the reason why we have to do this in a very deliberate way. Do a beta test, make sure that we've got all of these things out of the way before we turn it on at scale, because this is a product that's built for scale. It has to work at scale. And in order to get it to work at scale, you just have to do this kind of testing. It's tedious, and people get a little bit frustrated because they want to kind of book already tomorrow. They want to make it happen right away. The important thing to know is that this is such a massive asset for us as a part of our ecosystem, right? And it's just one part of our ecosystem, but it's super important to our ecosystem. So it's very important that it all works 100%, that all of the partners that we start bringing in see it working great. They understand it. It's kind of intuitive. Everything works fine. Then it all happens. What I think is my sense is that the network has a phenomenal opportunity in this now to kind of tell new prospective prospects to the network, right? Just what this is, how it's actually being tested now by us in the network, and the fact that it's real and it's going to come on stream, strong and hard. And if you come into the network now, you get a chance to buy $V at a ridiculous price, or V currencies at a ridiculous price. That's got to be the biggest incentive, I would think, to bring on new networkers right now, I would imagine. I don't know, because I don't do that, but it would seem to me to be a no-brainer. So come on board right now. You're going to get this massive advantage for you to use in the new year. It seems like, just like you do, you book an extra 4 trips because it just made so much sense, right? You're buying those trips effectively less than half price. So it's got to be, but you can only do it if you're part of the network. So I would think this is a huge benefit for the network going forward.
That's why we all talk every day to people about these things, and I'm really happy now that I know more about it. I can even better share it to all these guys.
Great.
So, Michael, thank you.
You are welcome, my friend. It's so nice to chat with you and talk to you and catch up on things happening within the network. I think this is really great. I love what you're doing, and would welcome people to respond back to me if they have any questions or whatever at any time. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. And you can reach me at mculhane@vtravel.io. And if you want to stick that on the video in some way to let people know to reach out to me if they've got issues or questions or whatever, I'm very happy to respond.
And if you're a new prospect, talk to the people who told you about the Vow
Exactly right.
and the TLN. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me. You can find the contact information.
Absolutely.
At the description. Good. So thank you.
Great, Axel. So great to chat with you. Good. Yeah. See you soon.
Yeah, I hope we can move forward from here, maybe in January, before you really start to get some.
Absolutely. When we're just about to roll out, I'm very happy to do another session so we can kind of prepare the group to let them know, okay, like from tomorrow, whatever, you can just get back on and go do your thing. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Lovely. Talk to you soon.